Welcome to the latest show. I'm your host, Prophet74. Today we're going to bring the Cloud Revolver S version. So this one for 140 bucks, 150, you know, rounded off. I ended up getting another headset because I have the Astros 850s. They're really good, but they run out of batteries, you know, and the longer you have them, the more they're gonna keep running out of batteries. You're gonna have to replace them, or you have to replace something else. So I got another one, but this is for it's a wire. It's not wireless, it's wire. We're gonna take a look at it and see how it goes. We're gonna plug it in, we're gonna talk with it. It has noise cancellation, something that I had on the Astros, something I need. So I went around, looked for different versions of it, and of course I started looking into this model particular. So we're gonna take a look at it and see how it works. Let's bring that camera closer. Let's do an open box from ground up and where you can find this. This was the last one I found at the store, so let's take a look at it. You know, these are the HyperX series, of course. You know, they're I'm very happy with the first one, the Cloud 2X. Really good series on it. I highly recommend it. The price is a little high on this one's 150 bucks, but you know, it's worth it if it works. If it tells you that it's noise cancellation and stuff, and you can turn easy to use. We're gonna take a look at it and test it out. And of course, I got this version because it works on every platform pretty much there is. So we got it for PC, PS4, PS4 Pro, and it's not going to be compatible with PS5, of course. PS5 is talking about replacing the whole sets, of course, so everything you have is probably going to be obsolete. Enjoy it while you still have it, but you can always come back to PC. Now, one important thing I always get it for: 7.1 surround sound. I have to get that 7.1 surround sound. It's necessary playing games that, like, you know, Black Ops, or any games like PUBG with audio is very critical. So that's where I draw the lines. You have to make sure you don't get a stereo, no HD, no 5.0. You want to get the best, so get 7.1. Sooner or later there's gonna be higher versions of it. Okay, for now we're sticking to this. So let's go ahead and open it up, and I'm gonna talk about it exactly, a lot of details on it that I freaking love about them. So the box, for one, you know, give you a little box details of what you get. Let's go ahead and take a look at the whole thing. Of course, we open the box itself. Ooh, HyperX, here it comes. So they give you manuals, how to set up the software, how to plug in directly to your controller. Oh, actually they do have an Xbox controller series, but you have to probably buy an adapter. But the only thing you're gonna have to plug in the analog, the jack, the 3.1 jack. So you plug it in and it does work eventually. I guess they put this at the end, but they didn't put it in the box. They pretty much tell you that it's compatible, but you have to control it through the controller. So basically you're gonna get analog connection, stereo connection. That's probably the highest you're gonna get. You're not gonna get anything higher than that. HD maybe, surround sound maybe. Haven't tried it. Not gonna waste my time on an Xbox because I don't play Xbox. Here we go. So we get the headsets itself, and of course they come with the HyperX controller. Now, if you're familiar with this, on the older version, in fact I do have the older version. We're going to compare them with the old version, and it looks a lot different. The buttons are a little bit more wider. This is pretty much the 7.1 surround sound. Click here, audio controls here, mic control, turn off mic, audio mute, unmute, and then also the volume control on here. The jack, the 3.0 jack, it's right here, goes in this corner right here, which is great if you want to take it off and plug it into your phone, your headset. You can actually use for other devices. It doesn't have to just be for this, but you do, if you want to have the surround sound, the 7.1 for PC, you're going to need this module, and it's a USB module. Now they do make you a nylon connection, of course. You know, they have the USB connection. Volumes keys are pretty decent. They move really smooth. Clip, they still have the little clip, of course. You want to clip this on your phone or somewhere on your back, or say you have something that you're playing that needs a long extension cord you want to set up, like VR or anything like that. You can plug it in. Not bad. Now we're going to start with the headsets itself. They give you more additional nylon connection here, a little additional couple of feet, 2 or 3 feet. And whoa, this is unnecessary, but it's plus. To be honest with you, they give you additional cabling here. this is a plus. This is actually, we're gonna take a look at this. What is this for? Here's the mic, flexible, real durable. I like it. It says memory. It has a memory wire, so it pretty much stays in one area. Not that bad. Other than that, the foam itself, it's really neat. The box to give you foam. You could reuse the box if you collect boxes. You could reuse the box if you want to just take out the foam and you could reuse it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the stuff and put all this stuff, right? I'm gonna keep the packaging in case I have to return these suckers. If I don't like what I'm getting, they're going back to the store. And pretty much I gotta like them. So let's see. They better not mess them up. They say they pretty much are supposed to be. You're supposed to, you know, soundproof some of the connections, some of the keyboard typing. Now I like this part. This is a plus. I like this, and it has a little extension where the actual connections plug in. They're supposed to be adjustable for your head too. There's a couple. There's a R on one side, L on the other side. Now this part right here, I like it. Big headsets. I like this. I'm not sure if these are detachable, but in the pictures themselves, they're not detachable. You could replace them, of course, but you need to remove them, and I don't want to do that on the first time. So we're gonna keep them as it is. We're gonna connect these suckers. We'll start using them and see how well they work and how well they fit on your head, because I got a big head. So this part right here, as I like that they give you additional cable. Of course, you know, this is a plus if you're gonna sit somewhere your computer's right behind you or on the floor and you need to reach out to that computer. And I like this, that you can plug in directly to your cell phone. You can make phone calls with your mic on, of course, and you can tell if it's compatible. Sometimes they have these 3 lines here, 1, 2, 3. These are digital lines. So if you guys see them there, that's because it's not analog. If you see the analog, they only have 2 lines. So make sure that you take a look at that. Now, when you buy the headsets and they say HD, they might have adjusted the connections and it's not HD surround sound. So be careful what you guys buy, because I normally look for the 7.1 and higher. There's no higher version right now. They're still working on the next generation. But if you go wireless, it's kind of hard to get that 7.1 unless you have the Astro's base, which you're sitting, your headset connects to the base, and the base is already wireless to 7.1. So, and we're gonna bring a keyboard. We're gonna compare these with the older versions. Now, the Cloud X that I have, the other versions, they have a similar connections here. So pretty much the jack goes in here in one connection, and that's it. Now, on this part, this is a great plus thing that they didn't have on the other one. So I'm going to explain to you right here. So on this particular part, the mic and the speaker, if you guys see it, the mic and the speaker, yellow and pink, and pretty much this goes to your PC. If you have a PC, if you want, but it's almost an analog connection, so you can do that. Or another option is you can connect it to other various connections, like for example, say you have surround sound or something like that, you could connect these. And this is an additional cord that you could connect your headset directly to it by splitting it there, and these go to your PC if you want. You could have this permanent in your USB. So say you have this on your PlayStation and you don't want to move them to your PlayStation back and forth with the USB, you could always connect it, but you're not going to get the 7.0 on this one. This module controls the 7.0, the surround sound here. So this is pretty much, you're going to get only stereo on this part. We're going to test it out, but not with this part. I really don't mess around with this crappy old connection. This is kind of an obsolete connection. Not a lot of modules are needed for these things unless you're going to make phone calls through VoIP. You're going to use it for video conferencing or other stuff. It's good for that, but you can also use this too. There's no necessary for this. This is old tech. This is new tech. So we're going to take a look at the rest of the stuff. Well, this is pretty much how I have the whole system. All right. So say you want to play your Xbox, and it doesn't say it's compatible on the Xbox, of course, but the brochures tell you that it is now. Now, one important thing on your Xbox, when you have your Xbox controller, you just disconnect this. You pretty much, this is how you want to connect it for your PC. So when you're going to play the Xbox, you disconnect this part of it and you connect it on your Xbox connection underneath here. So this is pretty much your setup. This is going to get the wireless connection that you need to hear the game. Now, you do talk to it with this setup. And let me set it up here so you can see it. It's pretty much, this is the mic, the gaming. If you guys ever play with the Xbox, and this connection is it's not the greatest connection. Unfortunately, Xbox is a little bit behind on the tech. Um, they do have like the Astros that you could play with that are really good, 7.1, but they're pricey. They're expensive, you know. If you want a simple connection, this is probably what you want to get on the run. Now, the Cloud X, the Cloud 2, you would say, this is pretty much the older version. They serve me very well. 7.1, also surround sound. Removable mic, of course, the same kind of scenario as this one, but there is no block or anything like that. It's pretty much you hit it and it falls off. Noise cancellation is horrible. You could hear my breathing, you could hear my typing. The mic's not the greatest mic. This one string mic, it's not the greatest. It's a little loose, you know. In time it kind of loosens out a lot. So the mic, it serves its purpose. It's a great headset also for traveling. You know, you want to just use without the mic, you can use it. If you want to make phone calls, you can use the mic this, but then you kind of look ridiculous. You look like a telemarketer using this sucker. The other thing is the controllers here. The controllers on this older one, it's the same thing. You could remove it. Buttons are simple, the same thing, audio up, audio down, but these are buttons instead of a wheel. Okay, so maybe on this part I like about it that it has these buttons, you know. But the audio wheel is another thing that I like. Now on this part right here, mic, the mute, right now if you put a mute, it shows in red. It's pretty much, you can't tell if they're off and on the newer one. So this one you can actually tell if they're off and on. Right now you're on mute. If it's on red, push it down. If there's no red indication, you're not on mute. So we're here to test out the whole thing. So compared to the new one and the old one, let me get the new one and the old one together. If you guys see it, this is the older one, this is the newer one. So it's a little bit more larger, of course. It has a clip too, just the same thing, clip as the other one. But the new one is like I said, it's a little bulkier, bigger, because it has to do more processing probably. And so we're gonna take a look at it. Well, today these fit almost similar to the other ones. So today I'm using the mic. I don't know how loud it is, so I'm gonna have to bring them a little off in if I'm breathing in a game. This is my breathing, my talking. It might be too loud. I'm gonna have to mess around with the audio controller. If it's too loud, I'm gonna have to turn it down. I'm not quite sure. I do have a set of keyboard. I have another set of keyboard here. We're gonna type away and see how the audio control. See the surround sound. See if the noise cancellation is actually working. So let me type away. And I'm typing like 99 words per second. Just kidding. So I want to see if you can actually hear that. And at the same time, I could listen into a game, and it's pretty much I can't hear anything around me. So noise cancellation without the actual power, it's not that bad. I mean, I can't hear anything in my surrounding. Let me put the mic too close here. Mic left here. Pretty much this is how I will set up my mic if I would be playing games, and if I'm breathing. I'm not quite sure if you're gonna hear that. Mic away, and comfort for a big guy like me, big head, you know, big head, you know what I mean. Uh, Very comfortable. No LED lights, no color changing, no RGB. I would say, you know, no any kind of lighting whatsoever. I'm not into that fancy stuff. Now the controller is crazy right here. So you see the actual light. It says 7.1 is on. This is off. So mute is off. That was mute. Well, let me talk about the little lighting here. If you guys see the little light, what it is for, I'm going to explain to you. So it won't work when you have it 7.1 at all. You need to turn it off. And there's a couple of features. Now, one will be the top one, pretty much all the way to the top. Will be one, it'll be vocal EQ LED. Number two is flat EQ LED. And number three is boost ELQ LED. So it's pretty much different settings in there. And there's no software with it. There's a firmware upgrade. And like I was looking into it, there is a firmware upgrade. And unfortunately, I can't upgrade. It's already firmware upgrade. But those that have the older version or the first version that they pushed out, there has to be a firmware upgrade. Make sure you download it. Now, there is a big difference on the mic. The mic on the older version sounds a lot like an analog mic. This one actually sounds really crisp, really clear. I went in there and I took a look at it. Now, you're gonna have to mess around with the settings and find your setting on the game if you don't want the 7.5, 4, 3, 2. Like I said, you push the 7.1, those settings go away. So you got to find exactly what you're looking for, you know. Now the settings itself, it just depends on the game that you play with. If you're not happy with the 7.1, like I said, turn it off and go into the settings and start messing around with the setting that you actually feel comfortable with, right? Now, one important thing on these things, right? This one's a little hot. I'm not sure that's normal if you keep the 7.1. I feel it warm. It's not too hot, but it's a little bit warm on this. It seems like the lighting itself, the LED light. I'm not sure if it's natural, but it's a little warm. I mean, I'm not. It's not too hot. It's just enough warm that you can actually feel it. So that's kind of like awkward. And like I said, I at first I thought this was gonna be the mute button, but then I'm glad they put it in here. I'm glad they have this mute button in here. That's I do like about that. The mute button's right there. So say you don't want people to hear some of the stuff, and I was able to go back and hear some of them. Actually keyboard, and the mic breathing has to be a certain angle. It can't be near my nose, so you could hear me perfectly. Now on the 7.0 surround sound, you don't have to have it on, but you could have your LED lights on and the setting that you prefer, how you want to listen to it. Now, I do like this headset. I'm a big fan of it. It feels like a real well-made headset. It's very comfortable. I don't feel like I'm gonna have the only thing I probably gonna mess with it and I'm gonna be a little bit upset was if you stay with these a long time. And of course, they're not chargeable, so you can stay there for hours. And maybe you're gonna start sweating a little bit because it's all pleather memory foam. I'm not sure if these things are going to foam up and give out. And then you could replace this. Actually, I was looking at the accessories. You could go on the website and replace them. They do have a setting for that. They do have accessory settings. You're not going to find any software pretty much. So there's no software for these. I was looking for it. I couldn't find the software. There is firmware upgrade on this. That's pretty much what you're gonna get. So really like the foam, really like the headsets. And if you guys have any questions on it, hit me up. I always live stream daily. And if you guys have questions about the products I talk about, bring them up on the settings. We're playing games at the same time. We're answering questions here. So if you guys like what you see, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that like button. I'm your host, Prophet74, and we are out.